Hello to everyone. Think we will start as for now with the FLIR Acoustic viewer webinar. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for attending to this webinar. We are really glad that we can, we can perform this presentation and show to you the main features and give some tips on how to use the webinar and how to get the most of it. We actually are convinced that it's a fundamental tool for us, the acoustic viewer, also the Thermal Studio, that we'll actually talk about it with my colleague Abraham. We believe that it's a fundamental tool, and somehow we want to promote the use of it and to help you to get the most of different possibilities. So today in the webinar we have Crystal Lee, my business development colleague. She will also take part of a part of the webinar, and also Abraham, as I mentioned him, Abraham Martinez, and he will take part of also a part of the webinar, and they will be of course here and there joining the conversation, even interrupting me if they consider it needed, and like kind of adding value to this presentation. And for the Q&A, for the questions and answers, or any comments you want to make, please write it in the chat, and we will be taking care of replying to them. And if there are any points that are not replied by the end of the webinar, we will actually go through them. And also, of course, if we see that there are relevant points that we would like to go through again or discuss a bit further, we will actually mention them like after the presentation. This webinar will be recorded, so for those that are in a need of leaving earlier or visiting the toilet during the webinar, they can basically leave without any problem, no issues. We will they will be able to revisit the webinar afterwards. Yeah, but again, thank you for taking the time to be here. So we really appreciate your time, and we understand that this is one of the biggest values that we all have as professionals. So thank you for this. We will start the webinar now. So yeah, welcome to the FLIR Acoustic Viewer webinar, a walkthrough. This webinar has this following agenda, as you can see. So we will go along a little bit through the acoustic solutions that we have. So it's a reminder, or just to fit the later conversation. Then we will talk about the FLIR Acoustic Viewer, more like describing it and discussing on or showing how it looks. Then FLIR Acoustic Viewer features and the different uses. Then we will actually have a few slides about the FLIR Thermal Studio, which is another tool that works in parallel with our acoustic viewer. So just for like like the sake of clarification. So we have a cloud tool, which is the FLIR Acoustic Viewer, which is the main topic of this webinar. And then we also have the FLIR Thermal Studio, which is a tool where you can combine the data and the insights from your inspections in thermal with the thermal cameras and also the acoustic cameras. So we have these two tools, and we will actually talk about them both. Then after this, we will talk a little bit about protocols and reporting. And then next, also discuss about also reporting. This is a bit of overlapping, but you will see why. Also reporting, how to report or how to do the data transfer or the data export. And this will be all covered by Ms. Crystal Lee, Abraham Martinez, and myself. And then, of course, at the end, we'll have the Q&A for those questions that are unanswered, and for those matters that we believe that they are important to actually revisit after this presentation. So as you can see, and you might be already familiar with, these are the main kind of last model solutions that we have. The SI2 series. where we have an SI2 PD, which is a camera, an acoustic camera that works with partial discharge detection, description, definition of the type of partial discharge, and then the evaluation of the severity of the partial discharge. And then naturally, we have, we have the software tools to actually support the inspections done with the camera. Then we also have the SI2LD, which is a camera that is looking at mechanical fault issues, leak detection for compressor, for gases, different gases, and also for steam. And it's the same as applies for the PD. So we have, of course, the software supporting tool. And then we have the SI2 Pro, which is our most premium camera model, the camera that combines everything that we have and it combines all the features. So it's the richest camera in terms of features that we can have. And it's, I mean, we consider it to be kind of the forehead kind of model in the acoustic market. So I will now turn my video off, so you will focus only on the screens. I think it's going to be easier. Yeah, these are the different models that we have in the cameras. So I mean, I was mentioning the SI2 LD, PD, and Pro, but we also have the SI124. LD Plus and PD, so they are available cameras. They are fully supported, and you can still acquire the cameras and use the cameras without any limitation. So, of course, all this related to commercial matters or commercial discussions is not under our, let's say, our responsibility. So you will need to contact with your closest, like a FLIR partner, to acquire the cameras. I'm trying to go to the next. Yes. So still talking about the hardware itself, a little bit with software descriptions. So the cameras, just to mention again, so they are having the new features. We're talking about the SI2 models for gas leak quantification and gas leak, kind of description of the leak. Make mode, improve detection performance, and improve PD detection, PD identification, sorry. And then we have a bunch of, let's say, soft features, which are very, very fundamental, very important, of course, but they are not maybe as central as the one I just mentioned, as like a color screen HD with a 12 megapixel cameras, a very powerful zoom with per 8 zoom, LED lamps in the front side, better battery, longer battery life, like cameras working up to 130 kilohertz. From 2000 to 130,000 hertz, the auto distance, auto filtering. Well, we have a bunch of features that are actually supporting the, kind of our camera quality. Now we go to the topic, FLIR Acoustic Viewer. So what is it for? So the FLIR Acoustic Viewer is looking at a tool for storing homing analytics and analyzing, so getting, to comment the different kind of inspections results in the tool, and also for reporting. So basically, you can use the tool to extract the information for reporting internally in your organization. So you will get the most of your inspections in partial discharges, gases, and compressor leaks and mechanical faults. So basically, the tool covers whole bunch of the different uses of our cameras, and just as a few kind of characteristics to mention here. So you will have there the inspection pictures and the data related to those inspection pictures. You have unlimited storage in the cloud viewer. You have the analytics, as I mentioned, classifications and descriptions. And then you have the reporting tools and exporting tools. So when we talk about the FLIR Acoustic Viewer, so we have also implemented and improved a fleet management tool We improve the data organization. Of course, there are always small things to improve in this kind of softwares. We have been improving them, I would say, consistently along the time. And the tool is really sharp to actually organize your own snapshots from your inspections and be able to actually revisit them for any kind of like a technical discussion or whatever is needed. We have a data connection API possibility, something that we will mention later. So this is basically to connect or to be able to have the results of the inspections in your own softwares, basically internal softwares that you're using. So you share devices and data between users. So this means that besides the physical action of passing the camera from one place to another, from one factory or utility or department inside the factory to another, you will also be able to actually handle the data internally in the cloud. So basically you will have a verticalized solution to see the data in the right place when the inspections are performed. Control the snapshot visibility with grouping. So well, basically you will have the snapshots in a proper way to, as I said, to see them, to show them, to visit them. Organization hierarchy supported. This is directly related to the fleet management and of course the devices sharing, but also is related to the hierarchical systems or kind of organization. So basically, when you have a company or your own organization has different levels of hierarchy, and one person is taking care of a certain area of the company or a factory or a department or whatever, the data will be actually visible in a vertical way. So there is not necessary kind of data or kind of inspection information leaking in between different areas. And this is also related to actually help the managers to actually be able to follow up the different kind of departments and factories along big organizations. And we have already a few customers all over the world using this with success, I have to say. So we are really happy with this hierarchical system. So it's for example, a person in like sitting, let's say in Bangkok, could basically handle and follow up inspections in factories of his or her organization all over the world. So just to mention the URL, if you're not so familiar with it, is acousticviewer.flir.com. This is our acoustic viewer cloud acoustic viewer address. And it's, of course, it works with all the SI2 cameras, but not only the SI2 cameras, but also the previous model cameras, of course, the ones that are supported that I mentioned before. So now, sorry for the design of this this slide. It was my own work. So this is how it looks, and I will actually go through step by step on the different kind of areas. Here you can see, if you can see my cursor here, I'm rounding the cameras areas where you can have all the per cameras in your own cloud under your own credentials. So you will actually have control of what cameras are paired with your cloud. So it means that when you or someone else is performing an inspection with the cameras that are in green, that are paired with your cloud, all the snapshot related to the inspection will go to your cloud. Then we have the organization feature here. So it's in the right column, as you can see. And then you can see here, this is just an example, a basic one that you can have like this global division and have the number of users in this global division and the number of devices per and the number of snapshots, and you can add as many groups as you wish. Like I make this in EMEA, APAC, Americas, but it doesn't matter. You could have different names, different factory names, city names, region names, of course, country names, whatever you want. Even departments, actually, we have some customers that are dividing by departments. Imagine in a paper factory, you could have the pulp department or bulk production department, you will have the paper production department, and you have, for example, the converting department and logistics department, and you could actually departmentize the use of the cameras. And then we go to Data Connect. And this is something that my colleague Abraham will talk a little bit more, but this is more related to the API data integration. If you want to mention something, Abraham?
Yep. Basically, the Data Connect is an enhanced tool for an API. So it means that some data that needs to be retrieved from the cameras can be also can be retrieved. So it doesn't necessarily needs to go through our cloud. In fact, the data can be fetched from the device and directly put it into the systems of different types of companies. So with this, we are enabling another huge possibilities for integration of another systems. So you can create, actually, you can have access to this API. However, there is limited support in terms of the own development of the system. So we handle the data, we transmit the data, but internally every company, every entity has to have the infrastructure and the resources to put this data and manage it appropriately. So yep, so it's a very great tool for those that would like to integrate this data, and that's in very general terms the API.
Thank you. So you realize surely that I didn't mention the snapshots. Basically, a snapshots section here is having all the snapshots organized by date, naturally. We will talk about this later. Yeah, so as I mentioned, we have different sections, as for example, the one I didn't mention, the Q&A, which is combining different questions that we typically get from our cloud users. So we have them there for like let's say a static support. So you want to check something quickly before sending an email or contacting us, which we are glad with. Of course, you're free to contact us anytime, but you can check there if the questions are already replied in the Q&A. Then we have here in the upper side, as you can see, I see my cursor now, yeah, filters. So you can actually, by clicking the keywords there, you will be able to actually filter by labels the snapshots. For example, if you just put PD, you will find all the PD snapshots if they actually labeled with PD partial discharge. You can put partial discharge. So whatever keywords you want to use, they are actually going to be working there. So you have the sort by, there's like by creation date, newest snapshot, or kind of different criteria. It will actually help you to sort them out for certain kind of like, search in the cloud. The snapshots are ordered by date of creation. So basically, you will be able to see them with the latest ones as the newest, like the newest ones or the latest ones in the upper sides, and then page number 1, and then if you go back, you will be able to see them in the different pages. So you can here see that this is the total number of snapshots in my own cloud. This is my own personal cloud. And then you can select all or deselect all, but then you can also select them individually, actually. And then here in the right side, we have these bulk actions, as you can see it. This is basically for deleting snapshots. If you want to delete a snapshot, sometimes, and this is actually a base recommendation for us. We always recommend to take different snapshots of the same phenomena. So if you find a partial discharge or a leak or a mechanical fault, we always recommend not just to take one snapshot, but take a few of them. So you will be at the end of the day, when you visit the snapshots in your computer, you will be able to say, okay, well, this is the best snapshot I get because I see really well where it is located, this partial discharge, for example, and the calculations are right here, so everything is clear. I can work on this snapshot. The rest can be, for example, DD, if you consider it needed. So that's why it's important to take different snapshots and then maybe clean a little bit your cloud after you sit in front of the computer.
Yeah, and just one quick note that the cloud doesn't have any storage limit, so you can actually store as many snapshots that you like, so without any cost. So the costs are included in the camera price, in the camera when you purchase the camera. So at this moment, there is no extra charge for or extra limitations. You can freely allocate your snapshots in the cloud without any problems.
So yes, as Abraham said, no cost for the cloud viewer. And no limit for the number of snapshots and data in there. So feel free to do inspections and use the cameras as much as you wish, of course. So this is the next one. Now I'm going to go through these settings, input files, reports, languages. So I will now move redirect this presentation to the cloud viewer. If I can see my cursor here, now I see it. I move to the cloud viewer. I hope everyone can see my cloud viewer, right? So you can see it. Okay, perfect. So you see here that I open the settings. In settings in the cloud, you will be able to set up the currency. Now, naturally, I'll have this in euros. It's the currency we're using here, but of course, you will be able to set up your own currency depending on the region and even the currency that you want to use, because some organizations, for example, work in dollar as a currency reference. So you can use whatever currency you wish. In this case, the leak unit, if you're finding leaks, you're looking for leaks, so you will be able to change the kind of different, like, we have kilograms per year, cubic feet per meter. The temperature units, we have Celsius here, but of course in other regions they use different kind of international systems. Energy cost. So this is actually very local, organizational. So the cost of the energy, this is more related on the compressor. So you have your own cost of production of compressor. Please visit this. Also, you can do it in the camera naturally to get the calculations on the screen. Visit this because it's very, very important to have good calculations on the leak cost in compressor leaks. So the CO2 cost, so basically this is related on calculating how, what is the emission saving by fixing the specific leaks you're finding. So this is also very, very important to actually fill. Then we have this leak size correction factor. This is a feature that we have added because in different organizations we found out actually it was actually requested that they use different systems, not only acoustic cameras from us, but also other systems to find leaks, and also systems to calculate the leak size by themselves with their own protocols and their own formulas. So we wanted to add this as a correction factor to consolidate, to harmonize the results internally. It's not that we want to correct our own calculations, but we basically want to add this possibility for those organizations that have a different criteria or different technologies that are giving a slightly different result. So if you want to harmonize them, you can use this correction factor. And this is the leak size severity for Excel report. Sorry, this is related to the coloring that we have in the leaks in the leaks bulb. So when you see a leak, we have different coloring, and it's intuitive. Of course, if it's red or reddish, it's supposed to be a bigger leak, but you can adjust the scale here, right? So like green, yellowish is a smaller one. You can adjust the scale as you wish. So you can actually use your own protocols and criteria for this. So distance in meters, this is the unit, and the color scheme location, so basically related on the location or the strength. So this is the section for importing files. This is very basic. It's a drag and drop. So you can import files via Wi-Fi by connecting the camera to Wi-Fi, but also you can import files by opening the folder from a USB stick. For example, you extract the files with a USB stick, you put them in your computer, and you do a drag and drop to this box or to this pop-up, and you will be able to have the files really quickly in your cloud. This is the reporting. This is for generating PDF reports and Excel files. My colleague Crystal will actually talk about this. She will go through about this, but this is basically one of the reporting tools that we have, auto reporting. And then here you have a bunch of languages. Just in the case you don't want to work in English, I mean, totally understandable, of course. Everyone can work in their own language, and sometimes, of course, it's very important in organizations that you use the local language for the internal reporting, so everyone can feel comfortable with the data or the information they are getting. So you will have a number of languages that you see, we have a lot of languages supported here. So there shouldn't be any problem. And if there is a language that is not supported, please let us know, and we will of course work on this regard. So here we have in the slide, and now I give the word to my colleague Abraham Martinez about the FLIR Thermal Studio.
Thank you very much, David. Well, FLIR Thermal Studio it's an offline solution, so this webinar, this session centers mainly in the usage of Acoustic Viewer, which is a cloud-based and online tool. But for those who have needs of having the data offline and installed in the computer, we have company software options for that. So it's a desktop reporting and tool with acoustic imagers, and also it's adding thermography tools. So this is the same thermal studio that is accompanied with the thermal cameras, and also it's compatible with our acoustic camera SI124 or SI2, all the models applicable. It has a very user interface, easy to workflow, thermal and acoustic in one report. So in case you want to integrate both of the technologies in both reports and deliver these reports accordingly, this can be done. Also, image editing. It's quite rich on editing tools. This Thermal Studio software. Also video playback, so you can actually select and at any point of the video the part that you want to analyze. Just remember that our acoustic camera, in every snapshot that you take, it also records a small video clip. So we are talking about this video playback. So regardless the snapshot that you take, there is always some video clip associated with that snapshot. Also, you can visualize the results and the relevant information from the snapshots. So the dynamic range means the SPL level, as well as the distance and some parameters according to the mode that you are selecting. In case you are using PD, then it will have the PD, for example, voltage, the location. If you are using compressed gases, it also will display the type of gas. And in case of the mechanical mode, it will be displaying the analysis. So all the results, all the parameters that you need to be input also are integrated in the Thermal Studio. And this includes pre-made acoustic templates. So it's just about a drag and drop, basically. So you select the snapshots that you want to integrate into the report, select the type of template that you want to use, and then you can proceed with consolidating the report or making any possible changes. And the next one, it's just about like a very comparison table, like about both of the technologies for both of the software. So in the first one, we have the acoustic viewer, which is the cloud-based, and then in the second row we have the FLIR Thermal Studio, which is the offline solution. So mainly the differences are in the customer in the templates. So we can see that the Thermal Studio has very vast tools for reporting. And on the other hand, our acoustic viewer, it has the organization module, API, and also the Excel exporting. So those features are by nature they need a internet connection or network connection. So those are associated. But in both of the softwares, we are providing the same information, same results, and same consistency of the results. So and just to mention that the acoustic viewer is included in the price, so it's totally free of cost. There is no limitations on the storage, and the Thermal Studio there is a license for that. It comes with the camera, so that's a perpetual license that is also free. And Thermal Studio itself, it has different type of packages, basic, standard, and pro. So those are paid versions, but if you want to use it also free of charge, of course you are free to use it free of charge. And then basically we have spotted different type of users for every software option. So the ones that own more cameras and that they want to have a more monitoring situation of the information, then they are accustomed to the acoustic viewer and cloud solutions. And whereas the Thermal Studio, it offers more personalized report creation, as well as integrating thermal snapshots. So basically, both software have their own strengths, and both software goes very well together and work with the compatibility of all the cameras as well as the thermal cameras. Next one, please. And this is just a quick reminder how to export the files via USB. So naturally, the Thermal Studio is an offline solution. So the snapshots should be transferred via USB. So you can locate the USB port on top of the camera. In case of the SI2, it has it's next to the on and off switch, but also in the previous series, it's also on the top. So you just insert the USB, the camera will guide you automatically on what to do step by step. Transfer the images, and once you have it, you put the thumb drive into your computer, and then you can drag and drop the NLZ files and open these files in Thermal Studio. The next slide, we're going to focus basically on how to open these files. So basically, you have this view in Thermal Studio. So then you can go to on the top menu to library, and then you will see that it will toggle your folders and your hierarchy that you have in the folders. You select the folder, and remember that well, when you select the model that you want to open the files, you select the model, and from there will be sorted by date of creation. So you open that folder, and please choose the data folder. This is crucial because in some of the cameras contain pictures, JPEG pictures. So we have to make the clear distinction that you must open the NLZ files. The NLZ files are the ones that contain all the information and all the necessary results that you take with the camera. So open the NLZ files, and then from there you will be displayed all the results, the snapshot, and everything that you can get into the report and the relevant information. And then from there, it's just matter to compile the results, consolidate a report, and yeah, in a few clicks, you will be creating a complete and full report. And this is just a quick glance about the plugin. So there is everything that you need. It supports all modes, partial discharge with the results, leak analysis, and mechanical mode, as well as the report creation, templates, extensive editing tools, and thermal snapshots can be combined as well.
Okay, I think I can continue here. So we're going to talk a little bit about the different kind of protocols, and well, I'll just give you an example from how to use the cameras in practice. Naturally, we don't want to, of course, we don't want to drive, or we don't even attempt to teach anyone on how to use the cameras. Everyone knows how to use them in their own organization. They have their own priorities and so on. But this is just an example, right? So this is, you can see the flow map here of a small utility part with switchers. And basically, if you establish inspection protocols that can be performed along the time, for example, let's say every second week or every 4 weeks or like every 2 months, depending on the availability of the cameras and of course the time, the priorities that you have and the time of your professionals, you will get consistent data along the time. And this basically means in practice that you, for example, say, okay, we have this flow map in our, let's say, substation or in our transmission line. This is focusing now in partial discharge, right? So you have this flow map and you say, okay, if we perform this route along the transmission line or the substation, we will get data, right? So we will do the performing. This is representing the cameras and the kind of view focus of the camera. So you will check in every one of the points and you will just, find if there are partial discharges. You find the partial discharges. You find new ones, you take a snapshot. If you find old ones, you also take a snapshot. So basically, along the time, you will be able to see what is the evolution of the partial discharge that exist there. Some of them might be mild. Many of the partial discharges are not critical, are mild, but it's good, it's worth to follow them up because you can take actions on them when you see that, for example, the severity level is increasing. It's also very good to gather data like this. For example, if you're performing every second week an inspection in your own utility, you will be able actually to gather all the data when you have, for example, a couple of days offline for cleaning and maintenance. So you will be able to make educated decisions in the sense of like with data, with insights on what is going on where to focus in the different parts of the substation. So basically, this is not just, of course, it's very important about having the substation in good condition, but this is also talking about money and time. So it's very important to actually have really good insights of what is going on in the substation. So, so we talk about the on-cloud severity assessment, as you might be familiar with this, but I just wanted to mention we have in the cameras, of course, the severity assessment on a screen, and this is very good, a very good feature for taking a quick reaction, making quick decisions on some partial discharges that need attention, right? For example, this one in the example here could be one that we could actually need quick attention because it has very high severity, and so it's a bit critical. Sometimes, as you know, like a quick reaction, maybe just to clean the component quickly to avoid any kind of worsening. But in cloud, as well as on the screen, the inputs are distance, voltage, PD location, temperature, and humidity. So by adding this information, you will actually have as an output the PRPD naturally of the type of partial discharge. The type of partial discharge, that of course is directly related to the PRPD naturally, the description of it, the severity level, and our recommendations. I think it's really, really important to understand here that the most important factors here are voltage, location. So voltage and location means the component where the partial discharge is located, right? So these are the most fundamental things to evaluate the severity of the partial discharge. Distance is important. You need to add it, especially if your in-camera has added 30 meters, for example. I think it's 30 here, but you say, no, I wasn't 30 meters away. I was 25 meters, but you can adjust it. It's fine, but it's still the most fundamental thing is voltage and location, and temperature and humidity are having also a certain level of impact. And we always recommend to check before doing inspection, what is the temperature and what is the humidity level. It's good to have it. Sometimes, for example, the sound. So like how is it called in English? I don't remember now the name, but basically with certain distances, especially with long distances in partial discharge detection, if there is there's a low, for example, humidity level and high temperature. For example, the sound attenuation can be quite high. So there is a certain correction factor. So in order to be able to take that into account, we recommend to check like in the morning or in the moment of every inspection, the temperature and the humidity level. So now talking about leaks, right? So the acoustic viewer allows to organize all the snapshots from the findings by type, area, or section, as we have been mentioning already. The organization can establish inspection and fixing protocols. For instance, if you decide that we will do inspections in weekly or bi-weekly basis in our factory, imagine you say, okay, we will do an inspection every week. So I want my professionals to do an inspection every Friday. Our cameras are extremely easy to use. So this is not taking so much time, actually, depending on how big is the factory, naturally. But you can do relatively quick inspections by walking in a certain route that we mentioned also for PD. You find the leaks and you say, okay, this is an example. Any leak that is over 20 liters per minute or 30 or 40, depending on your priorities, or you say, no, all the leaks has to be fixed. And then you say, okay, we fix all the leaks within 2 or 3 days after they are found. So you can do this with our tool. You can set this protocol and you can follow this up. And we consider it as a very powerful solution for you. And then also in addition to this, the acoustic viewer has the leak fix button, which is in the cloud. So when you as a professional or someone from your team finds 10 leaks, they go and fix them after, for example, if you did an inspection on Thursday or Friday, you fix them on Friday or on Monday, you will just click or check the box like leak fix. And then this will actually allow you to find how long it took to fix them, how much money you are saving on every one of those leaks, right? So you can actually follow up if those protocols are being followed. Of course, talking about micromanagement, but talking about understanding what is going on and how the cameras are being used and how much money you are saving, which is at the end of the day a really important factor. And everything is downloadable in Excel for reporting and your own calculations and your own kind of like charts and so on. And Krista will actually mention this later on. So now talking about the on-cloud calculations, this is just, I took the screenshots from the cloud for an example. So inputs are distance, time. Time on means, not time on, time on. Time on means that how active is this specific system or machine. So how many hours per day, how many days per week, how many weeks per year. Because our calculations related to the leak cost are on yearly basis. So basically, we need to understand how much is this machine or this system used. So sometimes factories are working only during the day shift. Sometimes, often factories are working 24/7, 365 days per year. So it depends on every factory, kind of like nature. Temperature, humidity. This is also mentioning that maybe here is not so big as a factor in leak, because the distances are not as long as in partial discharge, but still it's important to check temperature and humidity. Currency, energy cost, and you can see, of course, if we're talking about gases, not compressor, you need to say the type of gas and the cost of this gas for you as an organization. And then the outputs are the leak size and the estimated tunnel cost. And this, we believe, is actually really, really good for you, because it's not only about fixing them, but understanding what is the return of investment of the time that you're using with our cameras on your premises. Now we're talking about on-cloud for MEC mode calculations. As you know, MEC mode so far is giving kurtosis and crest factor, which are data that actually give you an estimation of kind of, let's say, severity. But this is due to the nature of the mechanical faults that can be in many different systems, many different components. It's not the same a mechanical fault in a bearing or in a roller system, or in a bearing that actually is conveying 300 kilograms boxes, or bearing that is conveying 10-kilogram boxes, or in a gearbox, or in a rotational system in a motor. So that's why we just give you where there is a potential mechanical fault, so the location of it, or we give you the kurtosis and crest factor, and then we ask you to inspect further. So with this data, you can go and inspect further what is going on in that system. Now I give the word to Crystal.
Thank you, David. For reporting the data transfers, I think it's quite straightforward. So when you want to generate the reports, click reports, then you will see the generate and also the generate Excel file. So when you click the generate, there's this acoustic camera reports. So you need to choose the right type of the report you want to create. For example, the leak, partial discharge, and a mechanical, that based on analysis type. But then there's also quite a special report focusing only on level, that's DV level. So we use this kind of a type report for the customers who only want to focus on the comparison of the severity, the leaks, or kind of partial discharge. So they don't need the analysis details, but they just want to compare, and for the further internal analysis, then level. This kind of report will be more straightforward. Next one, please. And so for when you choose the leak type of the report, something a little bit special from the other three types of reports. There is this click. You probably noticed that this is the force analysis. So that means that when you click the force analysis, so the analysis will be done anyway, even the camera analysis from the camera, there is no leak identified. So if we don't click this, so there is no any like a leak size cost analysis showing in the report. But if you click, so even there is no leak situation, we still force the analysis to do provide the parameters or analysis results. So this is something that for leak, and this is only applied for leak report. So this is something that we want you to remind. And also for the ordering, this is more like a snapshot ordering in a report. So we provide our customers in different ways, like the date created, basically the snapshots have been taken, and also the take or the date synced in the report, or uploaded date. Or we can use the label, alphabetical order of the label to ordering the snapshots in the report. Or you can also make the orders based on the camera label or the ISIN number. So next one, please. And as mentioned, for the report or data transfer, we also offer the kind of solution or option about this exile data transfers. So if you click general, generate the Excel files, then you will see this Excel files with all the parameters. And the beautiful thing for this is that the reports will all automatically categorized by the types. So if this is a leak report, and will go automatically to the leak estimates, or the partial discharge, or the mechanical. So, and then for the end users, they can pick and grab the data they want to use for further analysis in their own corporate system. Next one, please. So this is pretty much the last one to summarize the reporting and data transfer features. So as mentioned, for the Excel downloading, so then we can basically export all the parameters for example, if the PD, then we have a severity, we have recommendation, distance, voltage, location, or for the leak, we have the leak size, cost, and also for the MAC mode, we have the crest factor or the distance or the vortices. So all the parameters will be included in the Excel files. And of course, you can also generate the PDF report for internal corporate internal sharing and for further analysis. And I mentioned already by my colleagues that we have also added this leak fix checkbox. And that will be really good to follow up if the leak is fixed and how long it takes. So it's better provide further guidelines or directions for internal investigation. Thank you.
Yes, I think we are going, like we're coming to an end. Yes, to mention before we finish this, a few things about our cameras. So this SI2 series is our premium devices. Besides everything that's mentioned in cloud, are having on-device analytics for partial discharge location, type description, and severity assessment on camera. Everything there. The classification and recommendations are also directly on camera, so you will get on field. So you're going to be able to actually react and report quickly when it's needed. Then in terms of more analytics on camera screen and software, you will get gas and air leak size and cost estimation. As mentioned again, this is more related on the whole solution, not only the cloud. So for gas leaks and variants, we measure common industrial compressed gases, including compressor, ammonia, hydrogen, CO2, methane, natural gas, helium, argon, and now nitrogen actually is being added to the camera. Then we have like the mechanical fault mode, which is actually, we believe that is a big addition to our cameras, especially in manufacturing industries. But in all industries, there are also mechanical systems, rotational systems in, for example, in electricity, utilities. So it's important to be aware of this and to use it because it will add a lot of value to your inspections. So it's an extremely sensitive acoustic imager. We have a lot of proofs of it. We are very happy with the performance of the solution. It's able to find actually really small phenomena, for example, in PDs, which is not so common in acoustics. The minimum detection leak rate is 0.0032 liters per minute at 2.5 meters. Sorry, which is a very, very small threshold. So we detect the partial discharges up to 200 meters, which is also fundamental for us, in order to be, allowing our customers to perform inspections in places where it was very difficult actually to get in there, to walk through different areas. As I mentioned, detect really small power partial discharges. The multi-mode, you know, when you get to a place, you want to go in multi-mode because you don't want to miss any phenomena, whether it's a partial discharge or a leak or a mechanical fault. But then when you find if there are 1 or 2 or 3, wherever partial discharges, for example, you want to go to single mode and then the analytics of every one of them. So this is very important to be aware of it. We have a multi-mode, so you will not miss a single one because there is a covering partial discharge or leak around. And then we of course have the fleet management, data integration, and the reporting system. Just to mention some industries, I mean, these are just some of them, but we work in many different industries. Our cameras are using, you know, mostly everywhere. We actually learn from our customers, so, and of course our the FLIR Teledyne FLIR professionals every day, like new applications in different industries, in different sectors. But these are a few of them: electronics, manufacturing, pharmaceutical industry, chemical industry, naturally, metal production, food and beverage, automotive, electricity, of course, in production and transmission and distribution. So for this, I will say, don't say no to check if the cameras are working for the use case that you think they could be working, because we are learning, as I said, in daily, weekly basis, new applications for the cameras. And a summary, sorry. So, you know, we have predicted maintenance, a solution that meets your needs. So time and cost, energy savings, market-leading performance, market-leading brand. You will have immediate decision support. It's a user-friendly solution. Actually, this hasn't been mentioned in this webinar, but we have an extremely easy-to-use solution. So anyone without the need of training can actually just grab the camera and start using it. You just need to have some indications. Okay, you press here in this button and you look for this. That's it. So it's a very easy to use, very intuitive solution that is actually making your, you know, your professionals' life much easier, because you will be able to focus in what is important: the insights, the inspections. You don't need to focus in any kind of software training and so on. And it's scalable, scalable in terms of the use of the camera in different locations, in different kind of for different purposes. We have full scalability with our cloud. As you saw, we have unlimited number of snapshots, so you can actually use the cloud as much as you wish, and with the whole depth of it in terms of usability. And yes, I think we are done with our part of the webinar. I really thank you. Now we might actually have some Q&A questions. I don't know, I was not checking the chat myself, but feel free to ask anything. I will say thank you to everyone. I will open the camera so we can, at least you can see me. Hello. And just feel free to ask anything if it's, you know, anything you want to say. I don't think there are any questions here, so maybe we can wrap up and close. Thank you to everyone. Yeah, thank you. It's been a pleasure and an honor.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. I hope you have a really good day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Let's close this.